Freddy Cat floating around here. Let's go back in time to the year 1975 to remember the Saturday morning Sid and Marty Krofft live-action series Far Out Space Nuts, starring Bob Denver and Chuck McCann. The show aired on CBS.
Freddy Cat. There isn't a creature like that in the whole wide universe.
Considering it starred Bob Denver, it was basically Gilligan goes to outer space before the cartoon show Gilligan's Planet, which came out a few years later.
Gilligan's Star.
The premise? Two NASA maintenance workers get shot accidentally into space due to the bumbling of Bob's character, Junior.
He must be genius.
Lunch! I said lunch, not lunch!
Denver was 40 years old at the time. It had been about 8 years or so since Gilligan's Island was canceled in 1967. His other Saturday morning show, The New Adventures of Gilligan cartoon series, was running at the same time in its second season on ABC. The show used a lot of the same special effects techniques you'd see on Land of the Lost. Chroma key was used a lot to place the actors in alien environments. It was basically the early version of the green screen. You can see the effects of chroma key tech by the weird lining around the actors.
The sensor has detected an alien presence.
Part of Bob's leg disappears here, and here McCann's feet disappear. Same thing happens today if you do a green screen on your computer and take out too much green. Hey, cut that out! The effects were often what you expect for a low-budget Saturday morning series. The ship they fly in is often obviously a toy, and the rocket blast looks like a picture taped onto it. But you have to assume they obviously knew this, which makes the show even funnier.
You serious with those stories of yours?
Don't you get any ideas?
Too late. They took a page from the Three Stooges and used stunt dummies. Here's a neat little goof on the episode Flight of the Pippets. Junior is shrunk down by aliens, but for a second there, Denver's character is replaced by a really bad-looking toy. But hey, it was Saturday morning and TV sets were small.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
They were actually ahead of their time with their alien voice modulation sound.
What, Julio? Why did you not identify yourself immediately?
Kind of reminds me of what they did a few years later on the Series V in the 80s.
You're right. There's something else I have to show you.
The aliens were something else to behold. Only in the 70s on a Sid and Marty production could you find such crazy looking creatures. It's like Disco Goes to Space or something, I'm not sure. And these guys from the episode The Three Spaceketeers look an awfully lot like the creature from the Black Lagoon, if you ask me. Which proves, of course, that the creature from the Black Lagoon was actually an alien from outer space. Kind of like Predator. They also predicted GPS and how confusing it can be.
This is the hexagon speaking. I'll make a 45-degree turn to the right. I'll make a 45-degree turn to the right. I'll make a 45-degree turn to the right. Continue straight ahead. Watch out for the trees.
Somebody do that have to be dumb, huh? Hey, what's the matter?
Chuck McCann played Barney, who sort of replaced the skipper role of Denver's Gilligan like Jr. Or maybe Denver was playing Laurel to his Hardy.
I said turn it on.
No, I didn't. I said, don't turn it on.
You see, McCann was a big fan of Laurel and Hardy. He hosted the Chuck McCann's Laurel and Hardy show for WNEW-TV, Channel 5. He even did commercials as Hardy. He also did a lot of voice work in cartoons. He was the voice of The Thing on the 90s Fantastic Four series, believe it or not. He was also the voice of Leatherneck on G.I. Joe and Blinky and Pinky on Pac-Man. Bob Denver, of course, played Junior. Before Gilligan's Island, he was Maynard G. Krebs.
You rang?
A lovable beatnik who hated even the mention of the word work. On the show, Dobie Gillis.
I may have to go to work. Work? Maynard, get to work. Work? Where'd you get all that money? Don't tell me you went to work.
Work?
If you haven't seen that show, it's a hilarious classic that you should definitely check out. Now, after Gilligan's Island, he continued to appear as Gilligan on commercials, cartoon voice work, and the reunion movies. He had another series called The Good Guys that lasted a couple of seasons. And then there was the Gilligan Western clone Dusty's Trail. Later in life, he was a radio personality for an oldies radio station. And of course, he did public appearances as Gilligan at that time. Patty Maloney played a furry little alien named Honk, who honks as a form of communication, not as effective as the universal meow. The actress was only 3 feet 11 inches tall. She also did cartoon voice work. She had a long list of guest appearances on shows in the 70s and 80s. She appeared on Buck Rogers as a robot and as an elf on the movie Ernest Saves Christmas. The show had some famous guest stars like Leo Gordon, Robert Quarry, and John Carradine.
Tomorrow, when the stars shine brightest in the sky.
Famous for his roles in horror films and westerns, and the 10 Commandments with Charlton Heston. Oh, and we can't forget the fact that he played Herman Munster's boss.
This throne shall be your place.
Wikipedia says that Denver was so impressed by Carradine's acting skills that he even missed his cue, requiring another take.
You shall be king over the Crystallites.
And there was Stanley Ralph Ross, the writer of the 1966 Batman TV series, on the episode Fantastic Journey. And then there was Barbara Rhodes, famous from The Shakiest Gun in the West, with Don Knotts.
I have dreamt that a handsome prince would come to rescue me.
Hal Smith was an alien on The Secrets of the Hexagon. You remember him as Otis on the Andy Griffith Show. You know, I never realized growing up that his voice was a continuous presence on so many of my favorite Saturday morning cartoons.
I was only testing it for you. You want that too?
Okay, spoiler alert. If you don't want to know whether they made it back home or not, don't listen to what comes next. Okay? So they did make it back through a time travel mechanism, but they chose to relive their launch into space, mostly because they would have missed Honk, their furry alien friend. Too bad they didn't get another season, but I guess they're still up there roaming around space somewhere. Well, thanks for watching. If you're a fan of Gilligan, check out my Gilligan Meets Terminator cartoon. And on TV Crazy Man, I've got videos on Gilligan's Island and Dobie Gillis. Please like, share this video, and have a great day.